Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great Saturday afternoon. Today's video is on forced demand. So we're going to jump in and we're going to look at what our big hyperscalers have committed to over the last couple of weeks, the impact and the reason why they've made such a big commitment, and then ultimately, what does that commitment mean to one of the most important sectors in all of AI demand, which is our memory players. But before we jump in and take a look at all of that, hit a like to this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I put a video out each and every day, bringing market trends and insights directly to you to make you a more knowledgeable, a better informed, and ultimately a better investor with your money. So let's jump in and talk about it. First, I want to just show you on the screen the commitment that our hyperscalers have made. You've seen it over the last couple of weeks. Look at the build out we've seen since 2023, or the investment since 2023 from a capex perspective related to AI build out. $660 billion investment made this year, significant jump from 2023, but the stocks are not reflecting that commitment. They're not as optimistic about it. We're going to jump in and talk about the reasons why. I want you to listen first to NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang, because I think his comments right here swung the market back last Friday and gave confidence to our investors and caused some money to rotate back into the market. So let's jump over and to listen to his comments right.
Amazon down big. Meta and Microsoft under more pressure as these capex concerns build after the four largest hyperscalers said they expect to spend more than $600 billion this year alone. But NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang just told CNBC last hour he's not worried about that. He thinks it's appropriate and that AI demand is sky high.
Demand is sky high, and there's a fundamental reason for that. We're in the once-in-a-generation infrastructure build-out. This is the largest infrastructure build-out in human history, and there's a fundamental reason for that. Artificial intelligence is going to fundamentally change how we compute everything. Everything from database processing, the way we do search, the way we do recommender systems, you shop, the way you watch movies.
As you can see, that sentiment alone that we heard from Jensen there, I think personally is what swung the market back a bit, gave confidence to investors to rotate money back in and make them understand the reason that our hyperscalers were making such a commitment in the space. There really wasn't an optional spend for them. They feel like it's more of a defensive spend, I would say, at this point. They feel if they don't commit and they don't build out, they will miss a step relative to their competitors. And they will also put them behind and not be on the cutting edge of AI demand. As Jensen said, AI will be fundamental to everything we do and everything we look at, whether that's search, spend, and just how we use that level of compute in our lives moving forward and within our society. So I think that did bring investors back in. I want to jump back to the video to hear a little bit from their tech analyst, Deidre Boson, on what she believes is related and why, if everyone is so bullish on AI demand and it's the right thing for these companies, why are the trades not following? So let's hear what she has to say.
Hey, Kelly. So, Jensen's comments makes what we're seeing in the AI trade even more confusing. You've got software stocks that are just getting absolutely crushed because AI is too good and it's going to replace them. But then you have the mega caps building AI to be more powerful. They're getting punished for spending too much money on all of this. Now, Meta is a good example of the contradiction. 50 cents of every dollar is going into AI infrastructure. That is double Amazon's ratio, yet Amazon is the one selling off more. Meta's margins are falling. Free cash flow could get halved or even worse this year.
Hey guys, that market contradiction to me was an excellent insight. Is how do we see the software stocks plummet because of the impact of AI and what it means and how AI is going to make that industry obsolete. But yet when we spend more on AI, if hyperscalers are being punished as well as for their investments. So there's significant contradictions we see in the marketplace. But I think that graphic that she showed at the end, where 50 cents of every dollar that Meta earns is going back into AI build out. And I think the other three hyperscalers, it was between 30 to 25 cents of every dollar that they earn. So significant investment for these companies. And this means, to me, is an excellent opportunity for our memory players in this space, because we know memory is the bottleneck of AI demand, that we can focus on the GPUs, but in reality, the GPUs don't work as effectively without the key memory players. I want you to take a look at this graphic on the screen that you see today and think of any AI build out like a big city we see in the US. So what you see on your screen here, think the GPUs are like the big buildings in the background, but all those roads, bridges, and power lines that run to those buildings to bring them to life and make that city function are the memory players. Without those roads, bridges, and power lines, the system and the city will not work. That's how critical memory is, and that's why Micron and other companies within this space are so important into the AI build-out. It's not about, like we always think of the AI build-out of in the terms of GPUs. How many GPUs can we buy? How much compute can we scale? But in reality, in today's world, inference has turned that upside down. Inference is so much more important now, more critically important than training. Inference is running AI models for millions of users, and now it dominates the spend. The inference is always on. It runs 24/7, and it uses more memory per rack than training ever did. And it changed the economics entirely for companies like Micron and the other players. The simple truth is that AI systems are memory bound. Bigger models means more memory. Faster response. If you want faster responses, you have to cluster memory closer to the compute. More users on your system is more memory per server. So as an organization, these big hyperscalers, they can delay GPUs, they can space out their compute purchases, but you cannot cut memory today below what your inference workloads demand. I think of analogy, if you were trying to run Netflix, and let's say you had a modem that was a 56K power on that modem, it doesn't matter how fast your computer is, you're not going to be able to buffer and stream Netflix effectively. You will be frustrated. That's how important memory, and particularly advanced memory models like high bandwidth memory, are to today's models. So let's jump in and jump over back to an article I want to show you that specifically looks at Micron and what the analysts are saying and how why they're so bullish on it. So let's jump over and take a look. So guys, you can see on your screen here from Morningstar, this is showing us 20 companies that can still see rocketing sales growth this year. If I pull down to the chart here, I want to show you, based on LSEG's consensus analyst estimate, there are 20 companies they are saying will increase their sales the most this year. Leading the way on the top two are SanDisk and Micron, two of our key memory players, all related to that story we just laid around how memory and the hyperscaler investment, the investment they have is going to drive memory demand for the next few years. These companies, they're projecting, will have projected sales growth between 131 to 66% this year. They're projecting their 2-year sales CAGR to be 68% for SanDisk and almost 40% for Micron. And we have seen price change this year alone through February 5th of 34% for Micron, 143 for SanDisk with a forward PE. Look how low forward PEs though are. We know what the industry averages are. These companies, although they are priced high for a stock, many of them you could say they're 400 and above. Both of them, SanDisk we know is higher. Relative to their earnings for the next 12 months, they are priced as great values for stocks. So just keep that in mind when you're selecting assets that you want to buy. I want to jump over also and just take a look at Micron from an analyst perspective. You can see where we closed the day at 394 on Friday, but still out of 43 analysts over here on the left side of your screen, we see 38 with a buy target, 3 in a hold. And I'm going to pull down here because I just want to show you some of the most recent. If you look on the date here, these are the increase in price targets from analysts this year from Micron. So if I just start from January 15th below with Barclays, they went from 275 to 450. It's a 14% upside from where the stock is trading today. We see that TD Cowen, we know, has been bullish, 300 to a 450 increase on January 19th. HSBC on the 22nd went from 350 to 500. And then UBS just earlier this week increased their share 400 to 450, 14% increase again from where we see the stock today. So overall, guys, you can see the commitment that analysts have, strong buy position for it based on the financials of the company, based on the demand that we see in the marketplace. So I go back to when I asked myself in the beginning, and when you see this $660 billion commitment from our hyperscalers in the build out of AI, don't just focus on the GPUs. Focus on the most critical part of the AI demand, or the bottleneck within the AI demand, which is our memory companies and the advanced memory models that help these systems go, that help them work faster, that help them be more effective for the end user. So the memory continues to be the part of the stack that is underestimated. Not sure why, but based on everything we know and we've seen, it's the part that is the most critical in the stack. So keep your eyes on Micron. If it's a great investment for you, do it. It's the risk that you need to take. So make sure you do your own research as well. But just hope you enjoyed this video. Let me hear your comments below. What are your thoughts on Micron, the other memory players? Are you more bullish on other aspects of the memory build out or the AI build out, like such as the equipment builders or anything else? Love to hear your comments below. Let me know what your thoughts of the videos are as well. I hope you guys have a great weekend.